afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, amazing Propagandacast. Me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, your only sanctioned source of comedy to entertainment, your only rock in this mad world that exists. We're off here till 1 versus 1 on Faymonville Approach in the southeast. It is StephennJF, the world's most charming Australian, fighting here for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, taking on the role here of the Second Panzerschirmers in the north. It is Oziligath, fighting for America, freedom, democracy, taking on the role here of the 3rd Armored Division with Armored Company. Straight away we got Assaultiers there, also elite vehicle upgrades down the road, the M10 Wolverine, Bulldozer Shermans, and Howitzer barrages of the big kind. We got strategic reserves, we got Mechanized Assault, Lightning War, and close air support in a completely interesting choice there by Stephen Lee, sort of in commander line up there. With triple interbullets there on both sides. We've got Gundam's MD-42s there for Stephen as he heads for the northern field point. Oziligath boldly rushes for the south. The racing scene away, but the assault units are heading northwards. They might be setting up for a flank here on Stephen's position by the northern field point as the riflemen lead the way head on. Close set up there possibly by Oziligath here as Stephen moves forwards for the fatherland. Before out the pioneers rushing it, probably just denied cover, but also scout ahead for the machine guns so that he doesn't rush it into a pair of waiting Americans with a large pair of guns. Canadians moving in there, realizing the situation is Stephen doubles down in the north to prevent the Americans from gaining any foothold here against him. Rather than falling back, here's Oziligath, of course, tries to bait them into something there, but they got them before holding their soldiers up north. Oziligath's assaulting years, finding their assault very much bogged down with the casualties piling up. The men are ordered to fall back to preserve, well, manpower. MD4 to me at Canadians coming to the point. He almost got the northern field point here. Very good. Second Canadians called out there for Stephen with more rifle on the way there for Oziligath. And while we're having a bit of a quiet moment, big thanks to Simon for donating and supporting the Propagandacast. Allow me to keep doing what I do day after day, and you too can if you want to. Donation links in the video description there, where you can also pledge on Patreon if you want to do that instead. And of course, big thanks to those who already do so, by the way. You're all wonderful, charming people, and allow me to keep doing this day after day. Back to regularly scheduled programming. Gundam's advancing on the riflemen who are firing away there with M1 Garans. Stephen leads the assault here. Having said something to there's a gap there in Oziligath's lines. So just push ahead there to gain as much ground as possible. Very good. The MD-42 backing up as Gundams. There go. Riflemen found themselves hosed by MD-42 fire. Assault units negative cover. At range, not really the sort of engagement you want to be running there. And he quickly falls back as Oziligath realizes that's silly. Machine gun there repositioning. Very good. Keeping pace with the main thrust of the assault. 2 thumbs up there to Stephen. So of course something goes wrong. Guess we got fast take there for Oziligath, likely the lieutenant here versus Stephen, who's got a 3rd Grenadier squad on the way there. Triple Grenadier MD-42, very much standard, robust build there for the Wehrmacht. Assault units moving from the north here. Go straight here for the Grenadiers. Grenadiers moving in to try and deal with it. Negative cover, they can get enough firepower. This assault units should be decimated before they get close enough, but at the same time, at this point, there's certainly a good chance things don't quite work out there for Oziligath. And there you go, almost executed. The assault on the end didn't quite pan out there for Oziligath. Stephen's Grenadiers and MD-42 crew held the line valiantly in service of Deutschland. Grenadiers are now being rather heavily depleted. The numbers are low. The health total is even lower. And they're going to have to train. There you go, right move. There we go. The final assault here that might just tip the gauge or control the center in favor of Oziligath once more. But no, Stephen does not give up. Grenadiers have been used to basically just delay as Stephen falls back to second position. The Grenadiers, though, pay the ultimate price in service of the fatherland. They shall be remembered as heroes. Or war criminals, depending on who wins the war. You guess. Round flank up behind the MD-42 Grenadiers moving in. Veterans 1 then again on the MD-42 crew. Veterans 1 there with 4 kills. Very good. Rifle squad they held up in the end of the assault once more. Doesn't quite pan out there, Stephen. At the cost of a Grenadier squad, was able to maintain a position there and a foothold, so a bit risky there, and certainly in the long run he can't afford to keep making those payoffs there. We got take up down there, we got a 3rd Grenadier squad up. Lieutenant's finally arrived here for Oziligath, getting more firepower, probably seeing some fast light vehicles, at least a 50 caliber here. Heading the Grenadiers there, rear seems to be a nuisance in the south until the Grenadiers come to shoot them away. At the same time, Oziligath, of course, realizes with Stephen focusing in from the center, the north is quite open, and he rushes in there to grab it. Very good play there by Oziligath, quickly outmaneuvering Stephen and slightly undermining his otherwise heroic defense of the center victory point. I'd like to make a nice company up there for Stephen and Das Vaterland, Lieutenant there moving about. Far up north here, we got the mechanized command post going up there for Oziligath. Sonny's falling back as well as landing a few hits there. Poor Jones there, dead. Light machine guns being added, increasing their firepower versus those Amerikanen. In the south, Lieutenant trying to dodge the Krauts, who are proving to be, of course, quite persistent about the whole shooting them business. Germans always are. Assault using the fire from the Gunneries, Rod Squad moving in there as well, trying to grab the fuel point and hold back the victory point there. Trying to have his cake and eat it too, or... yeah, I think that works. Trying to come up with a more World War II-ish metaphor, but I decided that might be a bit of an overreach. Although I like to make a nice company, a fast 2 could be an option, Pack 40 could be an idea, Oziligath going for the ambulance. Not a bad idea. Grabbing the point here. Doing anything for because moving northwards there. No sign of doctor there yet for Stephen though. Back here we got the ambulance halfway done. Might be going for a Stuart light tank here versus Stephen, in which case a Pack 40 is going to be a really good investment. 2-2 might find itself falling a bit short. Grab northern point there. Machine gun moving in. Got the ambulance out there. 2-2 on the way for Stephen. Gonna harass and harry those Yankees. Okay, it's like, second ambulance? Has he lost it? But no, he's going for the Stuart light tank. That's definitely going to have a much bigger impact on Stephen than another ambulance. I mean, sure, there's the potential that he might get incapacitated with laughter, but usually that's not a reliable strategy. Around there as the Gunneries being pushed back. Far up north, Gunneries about to get wiped out. They're a bit of a close engagement there for Stephen and Das Fastline. The second Panzer on leads the assault. Still light tank halfway done. And of course, right now, Stephen is ill prepared for it. It's going to hit him like a ton of bricks. Got the 2-2 moving in there. Lieutenant flanking up behind the Gunneries. Good move. There goes Stephen. Is fast react with the MD-42. And the Lieutenant's retreating, realizing he's caught in a pretty big pinch. Stuart light tank there. They're setting out here for freedom and democracy. No sign of upgrades yet here for anything. Got flame for us though for assault units, of course, which is an upgrade. But not say BARs here. All the way to a light tank moving out. He may, of course, try to clear the roads just in case Stephen has been mining them. We know Stephen hasn't, but Oziligath does not know that. In fact, he's got a mine spread up in case Stephen has been mining, because obviously losing a Stuart light tank to a telemine would be quite unpleasant for Oziligath. There you go, insane armor piercing rounds. Using the 2-2 by the scout here for the MD-42, very good. Doing some light damage as a few shots go through and, I suppose, ignite something inside the light tank. That's about it. 2-2 as the rear echelons. Their attempt to grab the fuel point there, quickly thwarted. Back here, bunker up for Stephen. And he almost has the Pack 40. The Panzerabwehrkanone 40. Effective light. Medic bunker up there. Good to go to provide Stephen's beleaguered troops with medical supplies and support. The soldiers going for the center gun. It is overwhelmed without a heavy machine gun team to back them up. They are very much outgunned and outdone. 50 cab on the way for Oziligath to help contain Stephen's infantry further. Very good there. Plus, of course, a solid tool there versus Stephen's 2-2. Pack 40 moving out. Quite effective as a Stuart if he can sort of catch it long enough, but obviously also a lot less effective as infantry. To engaging the assault units, hosing them down there with crouching machine gun fire and autocannon fire, causing quite a bit of grief there to Oziligath assault engineers. Stephen overall finding himself in the defensive as Oziligath who keeps launching attack after attack. Stephen realizing the south is actually wide open, begins dispatching small groups of infiltrators to hit the southern area there. Good play by Stephen. Mines up here from Oziligath. Small light anti-tank mines. Cheeky but effective play there by Oziligath. And there goes Stuart charging in. They go straight for the 2-2. Pretty risky. I mean, you should have seen the Pack 40. And of course, one Panther lost the wrong time could be a bit detrimental there to Oziligath Stuart light tank. And there you go. Grenadiers got wiped out. That's the second squad of Grenadiers Stephen has lost here. There's certainly some significant infantry losses the Germans are suffering here against the Amerikaner. 2-2 moving in there, trying to get some extra hits in. Bit risky there, but does host the rifle there with some good German firepower and almost gets a white. Pack 40 moving in there, trying to get that Stuart. At least trying to avenge those fallen Grenadiers. 50 caliber MD-42 could add incendiary armor piercing round for a bit of extra damage here. Pinned down to the ground, the 50 caliber is going to be doing absolutely nothing now. And there you go, hard work, they're fixing up the Stuart light tank. 2-2 charging in, but could risk losing it. Oh, Close one there for Stephen. Close one. Good hit on the Stuart Light tank. One more hit. One more hit. And he gets it. And he doesn't lose the survivor. But there we're going to bring routed. Close to losing the net to the assault engineers. But the North does seem to be lost here for Stephen at the time being. Panzer Grenadiers could have been a good option. Gets himself a bit more elite infantry versus Oziligath's Truppen. Which obviously that actually does. Then the South Lieutenant they got a bit too close to the base and they got shot at by the MD-42. We got Panzer Grenadier and Grenadier. Stephen quickly rummaging through the companies for whatever infantry can sort of scrounge out. Grabbing the northern field plan with the assault units, very good. He could consider laying down mines with them. Interesting to worth noting, Oziligath has so far not mined at all with his assault units. Only used the rations for that. Also worth noting, he has a lot of munitions. He got the weapon axe, so that's a very good upgrade there, obviously. Then he's just the 50 caliber, the Mardus. 52 there with 4 kills, veteran to 1, lost the northern fuel. Nothing further going on there in Stephen's space. Could consider taking up soon. And of course so could Oziligath, though he's obviously considering first some BARs with a lower 50 caliber. Victory points wise, Oziligath is gaining ahead here of Stephen now. 453 versus 414. So advance here, too good to go once more for Deutschland. Using northwards there, we got the Raven holding up inside the mansion. At the same time, a small group that's been dispatched southwards. All the way getting up for infantry escorts is a good move for Stephen. Gives him, well, 4 infantry escorts, which gives him a good ability to sort of push the field and react to movements. Plus, the Panzer Grenadiers, I feel like, always a good investment. Up north, he can looking bleeding out against the riflemen. 50 cal moving ahead here. Crossing through the crater there, but getting suppressed with another 50 caliber. Stephen's Panzer Grenadier are routed with significant casualties. As the face of the Americans' vicious defense. Another side is taking up for medium armor at the moment. Heading the southern victory point there, we've got 373 versus 453. Now the assault from the north fuel here. As the Soviets riflemen continue to defend the fuel point there, go and send the armor pigeon rounds. So Stephen furiously tries to take them out, and Oziligath is trying to link up with them so he can reinforce them without necessarily having to retreat them. But Stephen's 22% prevents a relief attempt on the building. And the rifleman will eventually thusly be pushed out. But there you go, 5th gun moving in. Could be used here. Oh, looks like something went wrong here for Oziligath. They charge in the Grenadiers, the light machine gun, and the retreat is very much almost instantaneous. Rifleman down to just 3 men, bled out, and finally Oziligath has to abandon the north. His attempt to reinforce the position with more infantry has failed. Stephen stood victorious. Seizing the southern point here, back here, troops healing and enforcing. We got takeout there for Stephen finally. Oziligath meanwhile remains untacked. So that might just be where Stephen could sort of pull ahead here for Oziligath, and certainly something Oziligath should be wary of. We got 336 versus 453. And a sniper briefly considered, but Stephen decides that's not for him. Battalion command person also going up there for Oziligath, but still he will be behind Stephen there just a bit. Then again, he doesn't have to build the tank building as well, and of course that makes it over a bit more expensive there for Stephen, at least a bit slower there. So there's a chance that Oziligath could still get a tank faster than Stephen. Rather than they're suffering extensive losses, Panzer will actually go for a wipe here, possibly with a bit of good luck. And there goes Stephen's troops moving in there up north. The assault there is also going through here, making some progress versus Stephen. And the second punch will get Raffinate off. 50 cover takes a hit. Grenadiers about pushed back. And the Kutsiama pitch around here from the 50 cover trying to deal with the 2-2. Oh, pulls back, pulls back. So the Oziligath feels not very confident in his chance of surviving. There you go. Reaction of the Basuka team moving in. 2-2 there. Gonna have to fall back swiftly in the centre. Stephen's making good progress as the Oziligath centre is looking rather frail. And there you go. MD-42 stabilising up north, at least for the time being. Oziligath does not have grenade research. There's no way of, say, just chucking down smoke and then pushing through it. Panzer there versus the Wagner by the centre. Steven's got the support going up. We should activate the push for a Panzer IV pretty soon. In fact, Oziligath is not far up from Sherman either, but he may just end up falling a bit behind Stephen there. Just a bit. But not by a lot, really. Like, we're talking seconds, and basically going to come down to just 2 presses the button fast. There you go. Stephen should have the support crop. There we go. He can immediately begin building. There we go. So he will get out his tank slightly faster than Oziligath. Not a huge advantage, with the course backed up by Pack 40 still on this big. And there goes Oziligath, meanwhile, not quite instant. Grenadier squad wiped out. That's another casualty there for Stephen. Went through course here would be a good idea. And a Darkson, honestly, I think would also be a great idea for Stephen. Lightning War and Research would be, I think, the obvious choices. In theory, again, close air support, maybe, though. That one feels a bit more for the hell of it. Are you kidding me? Is he expecting support from the Luftwaffe on the Western Front? My God. Panzer's pushing it. There goes Sherman away there for Oziligath. Rather than being hosed down by the Panzer Grenadier, we got 2 kills. Veterans 1, Panzerkampfwagen 4, more Panzer Grenadiers than for Stephen, very good. MD42, they've been intending on playing rounds nicely timed, but we got Oziligath calling into the machine gun, forcing Stephen to reposition the otherwise nicely positioned machine gun. Panzerkampfwagen 4 mobilized here for Stephen, Pinman machine gun being added. Second Panzer squad almost done, the other one here could do with some light reinforcements. Heavy fighting here, Oziligath launches a massive offensive to capture the north here from Stephen, who's going to launch a counterattack, I think, into the flank of it, trying to disrupt the assault and threaten to wipe out units if he's not retreating fast enough. And there you go, Rifle squad here with the fuel point being slaughtered like sheep. And there you go, routed in a matter of moments. You got a bazooka team in the way, but it may not quite be enough against the amount of firepower that Stephen is leveling. While he's using the 2-2 push them about. Make it hard for them to line up. A good shot. And there you go. Rearson squad wiped out. No bazookas recoverable by any of Oziligath's troops or Stephen's troops. Panzer was there. Could have picked back up the assault here or counterattack, but they're a bit not there. All the way 50 cover. Assault needs to move routed. We got the Sherman moving in here. Flanking in the Panzer IV. There you go. Landing a good hit, but taking a return hit here from the Panzer IV. Stephen remains on the back foot nonetheless in terms of map control, but he's been able to deliver, I think, some resounding hits here to Oziligath, and Oziligath may be feeling less bullish now versus Stephen. Still not reinforced those Panzer Grenadiers, and still no sign of a doctor yet from Stephen. Panzer IV moving in. Panzer IV then getting the 5th cover crew here. Easily routed. No chance for that against the Panzer IV. And there you go. Sherman flanking in the Panzer IV. Getting a good hit off. We got the Pack 4 nearby. Would Oziligath consider an M10 tank? This sort of help deal with the Panzer IV and any other further armour there that Stephen might get. Will he go for more Shermans? What will Stephen do? Up north though, Oziligath outmaneuvers Stephen positions once more. And Stephen the finest also put it to the south again, looking to disrupt and harass Oziligath resourceful and also get that victory point, I imagine. Very good. No meaty counterattack here from Stephen, but there we go. Two to 2 Panzers moving in, Panzer IV being repaired. We're fighting there in the centre. We got the Panzer Grenadier versus the advancing assault engineers, showing no mercy as they scour the land for any German infantry. Up north, the assault continues and the counterattack commences. They've got the Sherman rolling in there. Panzers they've been caught in the withering fire of the Sherman tank. You need to retreat soon. They stand no chance, even though they do have the name Panzer in their name. It's, you know, not quite what it means. In the south, here comes these versus the assault engineers. And there you go, MD42 number 2 on there for Steam to help further curtail and contain Oziligath's infantry as Oziligath launch another assault. He can take effect, go for another Sherman soon, which I think could be a problem here for Stephen at the moment. Particularly if he remembers to use the smoke screens as well. North here got the fuel point cut off from Stephen again. Stephen could go for Stuke here to put pressure on the Sherman. He could also go for an Osman to deal with the infantry, of course, try and set up for another Panzer IV. Still a time of Doctor though. And we got an M10 tank destroyer here from Oziligath. Could have that out sooner, but I mean, it's going to help us the Panzer IV. But I mean, arguably, just another Shem could have done the trick as well here, and also put more pressure in and whatnot. But here we are. See them going for more pioneers, very good. They're also, I think, very needed. Sort of longer term, repairs panzers. Smoking down here from the Sherman, very good. Though no follow-up movement here, I think, sort of slightly undercuts it. Panzer 40 repairs again. And the Panzer's swift advance is quickly put to rest by a 50 caliber machine gun there. Far south here, we've got the sort of flank in, catch the machine gun off guard here by the quite nice play there by Oziligath. Very nice deep flank. To catch the one from Lieutenant. Stephen moments away from the second Panzer IV, first one being repaired. It's M10 tank destroyer moving in there. Right from Lieutenant advancing into the front line of fire here, the Panzer IV. 10 kills, but 3 on the 2-2. M10 showing ahead here. Great hit from the Pack 40 on the M10 tank destroyer. And the 2-2 explodes in a heap of scrap. Back here, troops reinforcing. No sign of the Panzer IV, maybe deciding if he wants a Stug here versus the M10, but no, he does in the end commit to a second Panzer IV here. Oziligath, in fact, could have probably actually just go for another M10 here. That would, I think, give him numerical advantage versus the Panzer IV to be able to deal with them fast, but instead go for the Scott to help deal with infantry support weapons. Mines finally going down to the assault units, very good. Very good. Major, though, caught on a major fusillade there from the MD-42, very close to the ace level. Panzer Grenadier extend themselves against Oziligath, who immediately hit them down here with the Sherman and the what else he's got on the area. We got 195 versus 153. Oziligath has a massive victory point lead over Stephen here, and Stephen needs to do something to change it soon. And he still hasn't gone for a draw. We're 22 minutes in the game, and Stephen still seems to be a bit indecisive what he wants to go for. But now the way it's likely at some point going to involve a target time, because to choose to close air support at this point would seem very suspect. All the way second Panzer IV there for Stephen. Good pick up caught here by the Panzer IV. A very one-sided matchup. Turn right moving in for the southern fuel point. M10 moving ahead. Panzer IV gaining veterans who won, 12 kills. There you go, Lieutenant suffering the wrath of M10 shoots, but misses with its 3-inch gun. Panzer there being routed. Shot fired there, the Major. Oziligath certainly gaining a fat chunk of the map here, grabbing both fuel point and major point in the north, getting the centre one back. We got 179 left here for Stephen. Stephen remains in the fight here. Panzer IV slowly advancing. Second one could have back up, and there you go, got the M10 up there. I mean, right now I think the best move for Stephen would be to push northward to deal with the M10. They're using the 2 Panzer IVs and just overwhelm Oziligath there. We'll see what he does. Oh wait, Panzer IV Pack 40 moving in there. Getting the M10, pushing it back. They almost got it, in fact. In the end, though, it does not commit further due to his other Panzer IV, I think, being out for repairs for the time being. Panzer going to do healing reinforcing alongside the MD-42. We got 163 versus 153, and there you go. Finally, at the 23, almost 24-minute mark, Stephen commits to Lightning War. We'll have to see what he does with that. I mean, he hasn't upgraded the other Grenadier squad to equip those with the G43s. There's also, of course, close air support and touching on relief into there you go. Panzer IV's going for the M10 tank, so catching there in a pretty bad spot. M10 misses. Panzer IV's not a chance to take on. There you go. Combat blitz here. Blitzkrieg there from Stephen. He goes in to take out that M10. An aggressive play by Stephen, and it works. Looks like he's going to be able to take out the M10 we got here. Flanking speed, trying to dodge the Panzer IV, but doesn't quite pan out. And now all of a sudden, his Sherman is caught between 2 Panzer IVs. Could he lose a Sherman here as well? That'd be dousing him for Oziligath, and great. There we go. Stephen took out the Panzer IV of the Sherman as well. Barely suffering any damage there from the Panzer IVs. Very good set of maneuvers there. Good use of the Blitzkrieg ability there to quickly outmaneuver and confound Oziligath, make it hard for him to coordinate his firepower against the 2 Panzer IVs, and lastly overwhelm Oziligath and gain a armoured advantage. Very good. There we got another M10 out here, but Oziligath is going to need a lot more now, I think, to take on the Panzer IVs, and certainly Scott is so far not making much of an impression there. And certainly, again, think he should have just gone for another M10 there. He had 2 M10s and a Sherman. I think those are the 2 Pentaforces. His archer would have been a bit better. Putzers are catching the 50 in a pretty bad spot. Could take it up before it gets a fire. Oh, close one there, but doesn't look like it. And we got close air support. Stephen calling in air support to maybe trying to finish off the Americans already by threatening them outside the base with anti-tank aircraft here. Taking out M10, doing quite a bit of damage. Ambulance almost dead. Pentaforce pushing 258. Bazooka fire. We got 50 cal there cleared out. Heavy damage, heavy casualties. A brutal slug out here. With no mercy shown on either side. Heavy fire there on the Scott. Panther was the rifleman there, hosing away furiously. 12 kills in the Panzer Kampfwagen 4. Other one very close to 52 with 14 kills. An absolute furious man is here outside Oziligath's base, littered with corpses and destroyed tanks. The wreckage of the Scott also lying amidst things here. Not exactly something I think that raised the morale of most of Oziligath's infantry to just see everything destroyed right outside their base. Still, he holds a good chance on the map. He still has a big victory point in the Steven. The Steven needs to do something about that, I think, soon here versus Oziligath. But so far, Steven is fighting quite well here versus Oziligath. But there you go, almost causing him in the Panther 4 there as he exposes it too far there. Suffering from a massive volley there then from Oziligath. Sweeping into the north, we've got the victory point on the fuel point here. And of course, try and keep up the bleed here on Steven. Definitely not a bad idea there. Punches the MD4 to open the assault units there, quickly clearing them out, fixing up the M10. Using the northern or southern point there. Troops seeing reinforcing. We'll have to see what Steven goes for next, but another Panther 4 right would be great. Instead, we get a mortar here for Steven. And a mortar from Oziligath. What a coincidence. What a coincidence. There came for the southern victory point, grab the center one as well. We got 116, 114 versus 453 there. Mortar almost down there for Oziligath and the 3rd Armoured. Steven and the 2nd Panzer have got them Conrad there already, and there go Grenades was the rifleman. 50 cal flying weather, close to 52. Panzer is moving in.
Crowds are sniffing around our asses. Tactical point being captured.
Bit of quiet here. Panther 4 charging in there, go catching the rifleman. Shot fired. Panthers we're off to go for the victory point. Steven knows where the fire is at the moment. He needs to put it out fast before it eats him up. Oziligath can soon go for another Sherman. We could go for another M10. We could try, I suppose, go for a Jackson tank destroyer here. There's also the 105mm bullets for Sherman. I don't think that'd be the most optimal choice there. 2nd Panther 4 is good to go. In fact, it is good to go. And in fact, it is supremely close to Vet 22. And on Salt here, the crew there being slowly murdered, not making much progress despite their eliteness and their Thompson submachine guns. Steven's got the center locked down, and there you go, mortar firing down the machine gun. Could have laid down the more smoke with his mortar, I think, to cover the assault there. I think that would have been a smarter move there by him. Machine gun there being caught up with the rifleman with the BARs and the lieutenant. He almost being wiped out. Panther 4 to the rescue here with Vet 2 Schützen added. Got the M10 going in. Bazooka team soldiers going to try and take out the Panther 4. Will be suffering from heavy fire. There goes Steven very wisely. Pulls it back there. Pack 40. Grenadiers coming up the retreat as well. And we got Panthers moving into further support there. Further causing misery here for the Oziligath's infantry. The Panthers taking out down from the old bazookas. But there you go. Taking up mortar fire. There go. Bang grenade off. Oh! Could see a double wipe here on the Oziligath. The Panthers got up major. And the rear sons. Oh, didn't get wiped. That was a major bit of luck there for Oziligath, but the major is nonetheless down. That is a bazooka team gone. At the same time, Panther 4 rushing up here, taking out the ambulance when it's in the base there of the Oziligath. A bold rate there. 2 thumbs up by Steven. That was brilliant. And Oziligath is under so much pressure already, then suddenly rushing into the base to take out the ambulance is definitely devious there and could actually slow down the Oziligath. He's got a lot of heavily wounded troops now, so he's going to have to like figure out what to do with that. They can also last team to then rush to the northern make one, grab that back. We got another M10 here for Oziligath. Oh, it's actually a Jackson there. The M36 Jackson. Fun fact, they're actually both based on the Sherman chassis. And we're also both open-top tank destroyers. Which was done because it basically just cut down resources, made it a bit lighter, and also gave the crew better sort of line of sight. They weren't really expected to sort of go head-on with enemy tanks and so on there in the direct engagement, so they're also less worried about, of course, encountering infantry, which is really why you want a close-top turret, you know, so you don't, like, get someone chucking in a grenade there. Of course, they're still vulnerable to airburst shells in those cases where, you know, they lose crews to that. Or in some cases where tank destroyer crews would fall back because they're worried about airburst shells from the Germans. And they did have them. For example, the Germans had a bouncing mortar bomber that you sort of fire off, and there was like a small smoke pellet in the sort of tip of it that sort of go off and it hits the ground, bouncing up, then sort of going off in the air. I believe the Americans call them bouncing Betties. Fun fact there. M36 action tank shot there for Oziligath. M10 Lieutenant Rifleman charging ahead here, going to move into the south, finally slightly approaching change in approach then was Oziligath needs to attack path, but the question is if it's sufficient. Stephen, by the way, has got a lot of resources, but he's also got a lot of pop caps. We can't actually call him the Tiger, I think that's what Stephen is aiming for. Though has he actually, no, he has not researched the third battle phase there, so even like he suddenly gets it, he can't get it anyways. Second pad for the gaining Betty 2 for Stephen as well. We got 93 versus 423. Mortar firing down there. One kill so far on that one. One on the Oziligath's mortar as well. Machine gun being outmaneuvered here by Oziligath's lieutenant. The TV's tapped, but there you go, past there. Oh, suppressed as they try to assist their comrades in arms. They're not good now, getting hit with American mortar fire. North here, pad forming again to try to clear out the machine gun, instead gets met here by the M10 tank destroyers, 90mm, oh, well, 3-inch gun next. Jackson as well has the 90mm. Mortifying the Grenadiers. Seizing the northern missions over the other Grenadier squad. Very good. Pack Panther forming out. Ooh, catches the mortar there with Oziligath in a pretty precarious position there. Panther Force charging ahead here. Stevens on the offensive versus Oziligath. Can he do the trick? Can he do the job? Fifth cover the flanky. Small chance taking out the fifth cover there. Oh, the Pack 40 with it. But then has to deal with the northern flank here when the Panthers have now been equipped with G43s and clearing up the fifth cover there. Not good for Oziligath. Panther 4 taking heavy damage. Pack 40 shoots. No apologies there. Panzer 4 unleashing a hellstorm of lead. There's the assault units almost wiped them out there, and no survivors. M10 moving forwards there again. Jackson backing up here. Panther 4 taking heavy damage. Pack 40 about to be cleared up with the advancing rifle themselves. They're taking heavy damage from the assembled Panzer forces there. In front of it, there you go. Pack crew goes down. M10 tank trust moving. Almost got the Panther 4 there. Going to charge in the Jackson tank, so it looks a bit to try there, but it's a bit worried about hiding around the corner, I guess. Right from there, almost taken out, but still, they keep fighting. No tech there still. I mean, he can call in the Tiger. Now, there you go. He is taking up there. Very good, very good. Also, got very much from the defensive versus Stephen. Bring ahead the tank destroyers again. Need to fix up that Panzer 4. In fact, both of them. And also both are reasonably close to Betsy 3, which would definitely be bad news for the Gulf tank destroyers. And there goes something about destroying the Pack 40, the Panzerabwehr 140. Reinforcement, again no healing there for Oziligath. The pressure's just been so intense from Stephen, he's not been able to find the manpower to replace the ambulance. So there's really just been a lot of advantage here in Stephen in destroying that ambulance for that Panzer 4 raid. Pack kaput. Almost done with tier 4. Just running ahead there for Oziligath.
Points are down to 300.
A machine gun fire there, got the mortar joining in. Tank destroyers moving in, their panzers advancing as well there. Got air support ready as well. We got a Tiger tank moving forward here for Stephen. Looks like it's going to be the final push here. Fifth couple caught in a terrible position. The crew is being annihilated in a matter of seconds here by Stephen's Panzer Grenadier. Up north here, tank destroyers moving about, but they're lacking targets. But soon they'll find themselves, I think, faced with more targets than they're ever ready for. Panzer there suppressed, pinned down to the ground like insects. Other squad flanking in here, going for the mortar. Very good there. Panzer is ready to strike. Mortar sets off the mine there. Almost got Oziligath's mortar. Panzer on the move here. Looks like he's lining up for an assault here. We even got the Panzer IV far south. It's going to be a pincer maneuver here from Stephen. He's gone in for the coup de grace, the killing blow. A nice setup there by Stephen. A grand tactician. 2 thumbs up. There's a really big maneuver that's got set up there. Panzer IV attacking from the north. Also, if you want drawing attention, they actually, I think, tried to blitz through all the riflemen, but takes fire there. Either way, it's acting as bait, allowing the other tanks to close in. There goes support called in. A definite killing blow here. Got the Panzer IV, bit of a shame there for Stephen, but right now, all of a sudden, the Oziligath's armor's on the run. The infantry's also being forced away there. M10 about to go down. There you go. Panzer first took out the Jackson tank. So Panzer IV going for it. Blitz creeping in there. Tiger tank clicking up, and there you go. The M10 is down. Oziligath forces in the base. He's got practically nothing left. And there you go. GG. Game over. A loss here for Oziligath. A victory for Stephen. A victory for Deutschland. A victory for good tank handling there. So a nice little fight here on Faymonville Approach. Some good maneuvering there from Stephen, which I think proved critical at times. So Oziligath at times, I think, kept pouring resource into engagements that weren't really panning out for him. And I'm not entirely sure he's going for that. And how his the way he sort of went for units went right about. I mean, either should have committed to more M10s fast, or should have gone for more Shermans fast. I feel like the way he sort of had his force composition rather sort of just left him a bit strung out there with not really much of a direction. Plus, more smoke would also done a good then. Maybe some grenades, really, to be honest, I think would also been helpful. So there's some things that Oziligath can improve on, but overall I think a very interesting fight there between Stephen and Oziligath. So I hope you enjoyed it, hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment. Tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial LinkedIn. Cheers, thanks for watching, and see you all tomorrow for a nice episode. Bye.